Tonight, we are very, very lucky. He's one of the best Greek chefs I've ever come across. It's going to be sensational.
You've been carrying this grief forever. Let go. I went to the ayahuasca session and took the medicine, and then all of a sudden I was in this utopian world of the purest black you can imagine.
When my eldest son was 4, he developed a brain tumour, which was pretty horrific.
I think my younger self would be so happy. He is so happy. Where I'm going is just, it's going to be biblical.
Ichigo, Ichie, the unrepeatable nature of a moment. A reminder to be present and treasure each encounter, for it will never return. This is the 7th Seat, a dinner inviting 6 strangers to unmask and share their stories.
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good, I'm sure.
Funny with our sunglasses.
Yes, it is a bit odd. I feel a bit rock starish.
It is a bit rock starish, but I'm sure it's going to be the big reveal and very exciting.
Absolutely. How are you?
Good. Yes?
I'm sure.
Hi,
Dylan?
Ellie. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Thank you.
It's good.
Hi, Ben.
How are you?
Good.
It's good.
Hello.
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 How are you?
How is everyone?
Good.
Everyone's having a nice day so far, yeah? Yeah, it's all very new and exciting.
We're all ready now. We're all here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
I'm Steve George Macris. Thank you for being here. Tonight is simple. There's no script, no prepared questions, no right or wrong way to be. It's just 6 strangers sharing a meal and seeing where the truth takes us. Every one of you has lived a real life, victories, losses, turning points. Whatever you bring with you, it's welcome here. The 7th Seat is the space we hold for honesty, for the things we don't usually say out loud, for the moments that come from the gut. So tonight, be yourself, listen, share what's real, and let the night unfold on its own. Welcome to the 7th Seat.
Thank you.
So I've asked you all to wear sunglasses. Sunglasses can provide armour. They offer protection, not just from the sun, but from being fully seen. Tonight is about dropping that guard. It's about being real. It's about being seen. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. One by one, I will invite you to remove your sunglasses and place them on the tray. This is the moment of trust, the moment of choosing to be fully here. Let's begin. Tonight, we are very, very lucky. We have an amazing chef and his partner cooking for us. Yanis is from Melbourne. He has a restaurant called Ichie, which is a name of a Greek goddess, which means elegance. And I can tell you, I believe he's one of the best Greek chefs I've ever come across in Australia. He's worked all over the world in some of the best restaurants. He's been here for about 11 years. And together tonight, Yanis with Maria are going to look after us. And I have no idea what they're going to serve us, but I can tell you it's going to be sensational. So maybe Maria can introduce herself and tell us a little bit about it with Yanis together.
I was born here and I was raised in Greece. I left when I was 4 years old. I came back roughly 20 years ago. So this is my new home now. And thank you for coming and I hope you enjoy our food.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a great pleasure cooking for special people tonight. Simple things we'll try tonight. 3 months, 90 days, 8 cheese, lima beans and house-made sausage with black mold wagyu, best wagyu in Australia, rib. We will try prawns and orzo, handmade orzo at Egli, because we do everything. You will try the spelt bread, everything. Wine-wise, we will serve a lovely kidonitsa, very rare in Greece. Impossible to find, but we are lucky with Steve's connections to try and find this wine. Then Xinomavro with your main course, the most celebrated red wine the last 15 years in Greece. And a rosé with a lovely dessert. We won't reveal it yet. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yanis. Cheers to the 7th seat.
Cheers.
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 Lovely to meet you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
So tell us a little bit, Ellie, you've just literally
I
got
have
off the plane
literally
like a few days
2 or 3 days ago,
Yeah.
and then back on a plane to come here up to Brisbane.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So you're part of a team which is probably going to change history for Greece in a monumental way.
As Steve has said, I'm an advocate for the Parthenon sculptures, which are, half of them are in the British Museum and half of them are in the Acropolis Museum in Athens. And I'm the Vice President of the Australian Committee. There are several committees and activists around the world. And I actually was in the British Museum just a few months ago and I saw them, it's probably the 3rd or 4th time I've seen them there. And it's it's quite heartbreaking to see them so far away from the Parthenon in Athens, where the other half are, where they were created 2,500 years ago. I was very fortunate to meet Stephen Fry a few months ago, and he's a wonderful advocate as well. So he was utterly charming and delightful. So our team and people around the world are working very hard on social media to promote the issue, and it's going pretty well. Finally, we feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel and hopefully they will be reunited in Athens where they belong.
Thanks, Ellie.
Thank you.
Uma, tell us a bit about you, the fish girl. That's really exciting.
I like that.
Thank you. No, I started this business nearly 10 years ago with no idea, just a phone and laptop. And one of my mentors asked me what I'd like doing, and I just said I'd like to eat. And he said, you can't get paid. So he let me take on his one of his products, which was Spanner Crab, on a national and sales marketing role. But I had no marketing skills either. So we just winged it till now. But there's a lot more purpose now.
Nicole.
Where do I begin? So I actually am from Greek heritage also, which seems to tie us together this evening. Fantastic. Love my Greek heritage, very proud of it. And my daughter's just finished year 12, so she's my youngest, just turned 18. So I'm finally out of the school years, so we don't have to travel in the school holidays now. We can travel at any time, it's fantastic. And I have a son also who's 19, turning 20. So they're a huge part of my life and who I am. Growing up, I was a tennis player, so I did travel a lot playing tennis. But I got into modelling as well and ended up winning a few beauty pageants, and I won Miss Australia.
She's selling herself short.
Yeah, I won Miss Australia and represented Australia at the Miss World pageant in Bangalore, India.
Very cool.
But my journey has been a very interesting one. It's taken me all over the world, and I ended up in Brisbane somehow.
House made and aged Copanisti, spelled bread. In ancient Greeks, they didn't knead the bread. It's a non-knead process. That's why you see the bubbles of the bread pretty consistent, quite crunch, no yeast. The actual spelled, the wholemeal spelled does the job of the yeast because it's a very high protein. Let's start with the first, of course, good olive oil.
Thank you.
Oh, God. All right. Sean, take the stage, my friend.
Thank you. Where do I start? Look, from a career perspective, I was in media since about 1990, in television to start with, which I just loved. Would have worked there for free. And then after 14 years, I made a change and moved into radio, which was a lot of fun, operating 21 radio stations around Queensland. And then eventually moving to Brisbane to kick off Nova 106.9, which was lots of fun as well. Following that, I went and ran News Corporation in Queensland for a few years. And with the changing nature of news, etc., that role was made redundant in the end. And I became self-employed. So that was on a Friday and I started on the Monday. I've never looked back. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. From a personal viewpoint, I'm a mad foodie. I love food. My mum was actually born in a concentration camp in Germany. And when the war finished, they were all sent to Poland. And then the men were sent to Australia to build homes, etc. So I was gifted to grow up with my nana, cooking around a wood-fired stove. Everything that we ate, she grew. And anything that she didn't grow, so dairy or meat, she'd swap for the veggies. But all my kids have also taken on the love of cooking as well. So it's pretty much every night we're sharing photos. What are you cooking tonight? Here, how did you cook that? Tell me about this. Was it a bit salty? Or they'll ring me and say, Dad, what would you do in this? So it's not, food to me isn't just sustenance, it's life. Mm-hmm. And it really sits in my heart. And it's a big, big part of our family. I'm blessed with a beautiful family. And blessed to be here today as well.
Absolutely amazing. And I'm sure we're going to hear so much more. We haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg. Dylan.
So my business journey has kind of just started within the last 3-4 years. I'm also had a bit of a life experience. The universe has showed me sort of every dark corner it has to offer, and I've come through that and just come out the other side shining like a star. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and anyone that is struggling through life, and I'm here for them, spreading the love of light and yoga and personal development and not staying stuck and keep momentum. Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
Good on you, Dill. Philip.
I guess my career, people say, people are interested for whatever reason, how you fell into it. And I grew up in New Zealand. My mum was always, was not very well. And, I'd sort of seen her stay in bed for 6 months and then, jump out and get in one of Dad's cars. He had a motor garage, drive to Christchurch and put $4,000 on a credit card. Like in today's money, that'd be like putting $20,000, And I just sort of thought, that was it. Mum was sick. I didn't think too much about it, but I started to cook because she couldn't. I did actually go to Christchurch to sit an exam to be an aircraft mechanic for Air New Zealand. Most chefs had rubbish maths, and I sort of failed that. And Mum just sort of, after that, walked me into town. This is the 70s, and said, he went into a place called the Clarendon. It was sort of quite a well-known restaurant in Christchurch. Hotel. And they just said, start tomorrow. And the next day I cut my finger off on the slicer, and I've been kind of cooking ever since, really. But when I came to Australia, like, it was a sort of a fairly, New Zealand thing to do. Australians do it too, go overseas. And I had I liked my job, and I didn't think of doing anything else, but it wasn't really a passion. It was just, I ended up as the second chef, sous chef at the Crest Hotel, which is now the Pullman Hotel. And a friend of mine, Jim, and his friend, they'd gone to England. He rang up and said, "Yeah, geez, you got to get over here. We're kidding ourselves. Trying to learn." That's what I did. And I can remember going to this restaurant. It was owned by Anthony Worrell Thompson. It was the real rage at the time. Lady Di used to eat there. It was called Menage a Trois. The first day I went, and the steps of this restaurant, before the chef arrived with the key, the food started to turn up. There was like 15 different lettuces, 20 different mushrooms, 20 different, unpasteurized cheeses. And I just was looking at it going, wow, I'll be flat out putting a name to this, let alone working with it. But, and to put it in perspective, at the time in Australia, we had a button mushroom and a field mushroom. So that's when it changed for me. I was about to go back to England, and someone said, "Oh, have you seen Rob Riddell's brought that building on the corner of Boundary and Adelaide Street," which is this beautiful old heritage building, which was Echo. And I went and spoke to him, and he said, if you come back within 6 months, we can do the restaurant. And so that was the start of Echo. Right place, right time, I guess.
It was the first of its kind in Brisbane.
Thank you.
It was.
Yes, he was iconic.
Iconic, yeah.
And then there's people like Uma. All of a sudden, out of left field, just when you think you've seen everything, she comes out and she introduces this caviar, which I've never seen in my life. And it's like, I'll let you take over the conversation, but when I saw your caviar for the first time, it actually blew me away.
So over the years, so when I first started, like I said to you, I had no idea what I was doing. And prior to that, I am a qualified chef by trade. What I do with all my seafood products is I go speak to chefs and I listen to what they say. So kind of like 2 years into the business, every chef said they wanted something different. Our company that I represent, Shark Bay Seafood, catches scampi, deep water scampi. And this blue caviar comes from a crustacean. And for the last, 20 or so years, they would actually scrape the eggs off the scampi and throw it overboard. Wholesalers and chefs would be like, "We're only paying for the scampi, we're not paying for the eggs." So it wasn't until a random episode on MasterChef where they had a mystery box challenge. And in that box, there was a scampi with a roe in it. And the challenge was not to bin anything. So from that, the next day, everyone called our producers in WA going, "We want this, we want this." So our client worked with Curtin University in Western Australia, did the shelf life testing. And then they sent me this 5-step recipe going, "Can you do it?" And I thought, yes, I can, easy. And then I got it, and it's not as easy. The 5 steps takes an actual 3 days to make, regardless of what volume. It is a blue caviar, and it has different color. It's different shades of blue. But it's been a really interesting journey. It's a love-hate relationship. I talk to the eggs, good days, bad days. But the eggs have taught me to reflect, calm down, time to process, come up with new experiments. And it was interesting too when all the chefs were like, we wanted something new. I'm like, "Hey, this is blue." I didn't get the reaction I thought I would get. Some of them liked it, some of them hated it. And it was really distressful because I really believed in it. Would you like to try some scampi caviar?
Oh, if it's here, why not?
This is the magic product. Very much appreciated in Greece in 90s. Very rare. We were selling at my father's and grandfather's blue caviar, scampi.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to see
This is what I was saying. When I saw it for the first time, I'd never seen it before.
And it changes blue.
Yes.
So you just go like this. So you eat it cold straight away. And you tell me what you think. With the second bump, what we're gonna do is put a bit more on, but we're gonna press it down. We let it sit until you can't feel the cold anymore. And then you can tell me what you think about the product.
So now we go for it?
Well, if you can't no longer feel it?
No, I can't feel it.
Yeah. And then you tell me what the difference between the first one and the second one. And there's no right or wrong.
No, for me it's salt.
Yeah,
In a second.
it's got a heavier.
We haven't heard much about you at all. You've just talked a little bit about
food, about being
Yeah.
Greek.
whatever.
Well, I grew up in the suburbs of Melbourne. My grandparents had come from Greece 100 years ago,
Okay. Oh, whereabouts?
from Ithaca, the
Oh,
fabled
Ithacans, yeah.
island of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Odysseus. And in fact, my grandfather had cafes in the CBD of Melbourne. So my mum grew up in cafes in the CBD of Melbourne. And then fast forward, when my father came to Australia from Cyprus, he also worked in restaurants. And so he had a cafe in the 60s in Russell Street in Melbourne, near the Greek precinct. And then fast forward a little bit, I married someone who kind of took my life out of the suburbs of Melbourne and sort of into the entertainment industry. So that was an interesting period of my life, I have to say. And he was in a band called Skyhooks, which I'm sure you all knew. And when my eldest son was 4, he developed a brain tumour, which was pretty horrific. And so my life kind of took a turn, and I spent the best part of the next 20 years. Well, we had a third child, so my focus on that period was to keep my son well, deal with various cancers, the brain tumour, thyroid cancer and another brain tumour. And my husband's work sort of took him all around Australia on the weekends and what have you. So I really kept the home fires burning with these 3 boys. And so I had studied, I had 3 degrees, but I didn't end up really working outside the home. So my focus was this situation. And then fast forward about 7 or 8 years ago, my marriage ended, and I'd already started visiting Greece a bit more, and I obviously felt very strongly about the Parthenon marbles. So about 15 years ago, I was already doing my advocacy work, and I spent more time in Greece at the end of my marriage, and then decided to buy an apartment there. So I live at the base of the Acropolis in Athens. So I get to see the Parthenon every single day. And every single day I look up and I marvel at how beautiful it is and what an engineering masterpiece it was, and how on earth did they build that beautiful temple on the top of this rock. And of course in Athens there's a building height restrictions, and so anywhere you are in Athens, 10, 15, 20 kilometres out, you can see the Acropolis. So it's not built out. So it's the pinnacle of Athens.
I had no idea that's
Yeah,
the case.
it's really, and it's just so beautiful. You can see it's so iconic, and you can see it from everywhere. So it's a real privilege to live at the base of it every day.
So we have silver beet, amarines, and endive, or whatever we can find in there at the time. What we do, a few places. So we've seen it at home. They're boiling greens. They take them off this water and then they serve them with fresh squeezed lemon juice and olive oil. But what's happening with what we left in the pot? So the longevity of ancient Greeks, it was based on whole food. So this is what we do. We cook the greens from scratch in the pot. We don't take anything out. Olive oil, preserved tomatoes every year. Italians do passata. Greeks, we bake them, salt and sugar in a jar. And then whenever we want in the winter a little bit of scent of summer, we throw all of this, a few tomatoes in this. The paponaki, the yuvetsi with the prawns, the little pasta, it's handmade from a machine we bought with Maria in Athens. I didn't know that I'm going to open up early. So we bought it. Now it serves its purpose. Wow. Lamb, 72 hours process. Brine, debrine, braising, compressing, yogurt. The ancient Greece, tzatziki was yogurt strained for a few days, pot set in our case, not aged in a cave like they used to, confit garlic and cucumber.
Thank you, Yanis. Thank you.
Enjoy. The wine, Xinomavro.
Xinomavro, yes.
Xinomavro, all the wines from Greece must be organic because of the drive of the European Union.
Thank you so much,
Enjoy.
Yanis. Enjoy, guys. What about you, Dylan? Tell us about infrared saunas and how they're changing our lives.
I kind of just fell into it, really. I was originally in construction, and then I just got overworked and underappreciated, and it just it wasn't for my soul. You know, I really like to have connection and love. So I quit that industry, and I took myself back to school to study. I studied fitness, and I went to Cert 3, Cert 4, and then done yoga teacher training. That's where I found my journey of sort of helping others and being of service to others. And I feel like I've been maybe 40% of my whole life has been like that anyway. My parents weren't very there for me. You know, my dad was a bit of an alcoholic, and my mum, she was into her pharmaceutical tablets and the drugs, and her boyfriends were criminals and drug addicts and just bad people. And I just grew up in that lifestyle where everyone's very angry. And
did you go through like a phase of enlightenment when things shifted?
Well, I've had 3 people die in my arms over the course of my life, and understanding like death is it's very natural, and people like most people really, it's scary, and we just need to let it come, let it go.
Like, I could have sat and cried every single day after I buried my child, yes, and just get on with life,
sit with
because
it.
As you've said, death is part of life.
Yeah.
So to kind of normalise it, I just decided to get on with it. And if people, you know, if death came up, or if they asked about my son Samuel or whatever, you know, we would talk. Why shouldn't we talk about him?
Was there a period of time where you kind of sat still before you allowed yourself to get out?
I think I decided quite quickly that staying home and being fidgety by myself wasn't helpful to me. So when he was 26, he got diagnosed with a glioblastoma multiforme, which was terminal on diagnosis. So I knew that we weren't going to have him for much longer, and unfortunately that's what happened. So I had to dust myself off after the end of the marriage, which was all very difficult, and be the mother that he needed me to be in that period. And so we didn't know how long he would last. Anyway, he lasted about 8 or 9 months, but the last 2 or 3 months were pretty harrowing because he declined in front of our very eyes every day, which was horrific. And he left us aged 27. So, and again, as I said, I could have stayed home and cried every day, and I decided that for me, that wasn't going to be a good way to live my life.
You too, yeah. I want to hug it too.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, thank you.
Hug too.
Oh, thank you. It's not necessary, but thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, all of you, for listening to that story. It's pretty heavy going, but it's part of life. So, Sean, tell us a bit about your story and your life. And
one of the similarities I could share is, particularly with Dylan, is just a period of life change that I experienced about 7 or 8 years ago. I got divorced, and before that, I'd worked in corporate for pretty much most of my life, and with 5 kids, a property that needed a lot of work. Time wasn't on my side, and I certainly didn't have a lot of time for me. yeah, there's some regrets in that. Some regrets that I didn't have enough time with the kiddies. Having said that, we're close, and we talk every day, and we share food stories and what have you every day. So in the last 5 or 6 years, I've just experimented with new things. I do yoga, Pilates, including in that is breathwork, Wim Hof course. I've tried ayahuasca.
Oh, yes.
And when you speak about loss, I'd actually carried, my mum passed away in 2003 with a really bad cancer called IBC. It was it's really, really rare. And she'd had it for almost 10 years and finally it took her. And I carried a lot of grief, a lot of grief. In fact, when I moved to Brisbane, I didn't really know anybody. But then I was approached by the Queensland Institute of Medical Research to help them with a fundraiser to get some patients on a cancer trial. So I got a table of people together, and it certainly wasn't me, it was the people that participated. I said, look, I can't afford to fund all of these patients, but together we can. Long story short, we went beyond the 17. We raised $417,000 that day over lunch. And it was named in favour of my mum, so there was tears coming down. And I only bring that up because of the grief. It was only 2 years after she'd passed that I'd moved here and we'd done the lunch. Fast forward, this is only 2 years ago. I'd carried so much grief around for so long. I went to the ayahuasca session and took the medicine, and I actually thought to start with maybe I'd been ripped off because nothing happened. But then all of a sudden I was in this utopian world. I was like on a sound stage that was just the purest black you could imagine, with the most vibrant colours you could possibly imagine as well. And the happiness and love that I felt was just absolutely incredible. And then I heard in my left ear this little whisper, and it was an angel, and it was my mum. And she said to me, you've been carrying this grief forever, let go. And never had two people been closer than she and I. And then there was a second angel that I heard as well. And I couldn't quite make it out, and it was quite annoying. The guy next to me was snoring, and I said, shh, I've got a couple of angels over here, I'm trying to talk to them. So, but that day I could just let go and relax, and I had some relief. And so it was just such a beautiful moment. And I walked away with just a lot of love from that. So yeah, that feeling of grief, everyone's got their own story.
So we'd love to hear Nicole's story.
Wow, well, it's a long one. So my life has very many facets and very many sliding door moments that have brought me to where I am today. I was very fortunate to be raised by very loving, caring parents who were interesting, multicultural, fascinating. I had an incredible father who taught me a lot about life and about so many things, including car racing, which is one of my favourite sports. And I started modelling from the age of 4. My mum just said that I relished in it. And I won my first contest at the age of 4, yeah. So I started from a young age, and from that I gained, I guess, a sense of confidence, and I decided that I wanted to go and do some voluntary work. And I asked, my parents, could I go to the Autistic Association and meet other autistic children and learn more about autism? And then I was approached to enter into this contest called the Miss Action for Autism contest, which was about fundraising and creating awareness for autism. I did that and I won. I won Miss Action for Autism, and then I won Miss Action for Autism fundraiser and doing voluntary work there. And then I was asked to enter the Miss Australia Quest at the time. When I entered, I won Miss New South Wales and Miss New South Wales fundraiser, and then went on to win Miss Australia fundraiser at the time. With the help of my family, my mother in particular, we raised over $1 million for particularly those two charities, but a couple of others as well. But from entering the pageants, one led to another, and then I went on to win Miss Australia, Miss World Australia. So I went to the Miss World pageant in 1996 in Bangalore in India.
We don't do milk and rice, which is the traditional. We're making a custard with Madagascar vanilla. We're making custard with the rice, chantilly,
lovely.
folding through, caramel.
Lovely.
Thank you, Yanis.
Sorry.
Thank
There
you.
is a little surprise on the bottom of the bowl. So please,
Oh,
please dig
okay.
To the
in.
bottom.
I like surprises.
I like it. Enjoy.
Yeah. This is comfort food, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to be looked after. How nice is this?
Very nice.
So good.
We can all say the food was just absolutely sensational. You'll notice there's an envelope with your name on it. Once I call out your name, I'd like you to open the envelope and read it. So, Sean, why don't we start off with you? You want to read your envelope first?
Sure. So, a question for you, Philip. Philip, for almost 30 years, you've carried a kitchen, a team, and the city on your shoulders. You built a restaurant that has helped define Brisbane, and you keep it alive through every storm this industry can throw at a chef. After all the pressure, all the sacrifice, all the years when you were holding everything up, what was the moment when you realised that your journey had truly cost you and what it had actually given you?
That's a good question.
One person changed the way I thought about food, and that's a big thing. When I'd been 2 years at Echo, I picked up the River Cafe Blue Book, and I looked at it and I showed it to PJ, my chef, who's now the owner of Harvey's in James Street, and I just said, man, have a look at this. And it was just like, what you see is what you get. It was unconstructed. It was like, if it was grey, it was grey. If it was, if it was red, it was red. There was no airs or graces. So there was Rose Gray, who's sort of who I consider a mentor to me, and Ruth Rogers. These women were in their 50s when they started this sort of staff canteen for the architectural firm, and all these friends of Sir Richard Rogers, who did the Lloyd's building and everything in London, they said, "Oh, can we come to the canteen?" And they said, "Oh, I guess." And anyway, it went all the way to 1 Michelin star. So what happened was I looked at this book and I went, wow. I got on an airplane and I flew to London and did what they call is a stage, which was very common in the 80s and 90s. It means, the French would call it being on stage to see what's going on. When I got there, the two people who were rank and file, just doing a chef's job, chef to parties, was Jamie Oliver, yet to be discovered, and Ben Donahue, another Australian chef. So anyway, I just sort of was just looking at this stuff. It was just thinking, this is amazing. And I came back and we'd sort of started to do our first book. What they used to do for the Gourmet Traveller Award, it used to be done through voting. So people would buy the Gourmet Traveller magazine, they'd pull out a coupon and vote for a restaurant. It was throwing up all these restaurants that weren't really relevant. But Gourmet didn't really want to stop that because it was selling an awful lot of magazines. So we were the first year where they had 2 restaurants. One was a Critic's Choice, which is what Echo got in at, and one was some other restaurant. And then anyway, so we're moving on to the end of '97, and we got this invitation to go to the awards in Sydney. It was in some place in the park, and I sort of thought, I don't know, we're not going to win this. Like the Queensland, no one's going to win this, because the people in that award that year was Rockpool, Tetsua, it was bloody Echo. No one knew who it was. So Rick Stein had gone to every 2 restaurants in every state. He was doing the talk during the thing, and I was still thinking, there's no way you're going to win against these heavyweights from Melbourne and Sydney. So I'm sitting there and he talked about each restaurant he'd been to, and he didn't mention Echo, and I thought, that's kind of weird. Like I thought, that I don't think I'm going to win this, but, you think it'd be worth a mention. And then he said, I went to this restaurant and it was all about, the package. The waiter came up and he talked about this Madfish Bay in Western Australia where the fish come in on the low tide and they get caught in the rocks and they go mad. That's why it's called Madfish Bay. And I thought, well, half the world's got that on. And then he said, then we had some calf's liver with a bit of mash and some bacon. I thought, well, yep, pretty generic. And then he said, and then we had this Moreton Bay bug risotto, which I'd learned from Rose, really. And I thought, my God, that's That's me.
I remember that dish.
And then all the press, some little known restaurant has won Gourmet Traveller Restaurant of the Year. And they said the only people that were more shocked in the audience or something was Philip Johnson himself, who looked like a stunned mullet.
I love that, Phil. Would you like to go next?
Yeah, I would. Question is to Uma. Uma, you built the fish grill in an industry where you're often underestimated, overlooked and pushed to one side. Yet you didn't shrink, you rose. So I want to ask you this. When you look back at the woman you had to come to stand in your grounds in those rooms, what part of yourself did you have to protect the most? And what part of you did you refuse to let anyone take from you?
Pushed to the side, definitely didn't fit in. I get seasick, so I can't even actually go out to sea. I can't go out to sea well, so I can't relate, but I will get on it and translate that back to the chef. I can't say there were sacrifices other than my own time. For so long, I thought that I was failing because of their negativity or bullying or whatever it is that they were doing. I got to travel, I got to go see places. So then I didn't feel like my work, I was giving up anything at all, really. What I learned is I don't need to fit in. I can just be an underutilized seafood and just stay in that lane and just be very comfortable like the scampi caviar and just be that. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Uma, would you like to go next?
Sure. My question is for Dylan. Dylan, you grew up in a world where no one showed you the path, so you had to build one yourself. When you look at the man you have become today, what part of your younger self do you think would be the most proud of you?
What part of my younger self? Did you make these questions? Probably my whole younger self. We wouldn't have imagined that I would be here today, yet alone doing what I do, like in the health and wellness industry, because my life was definitely totally opposite to all of this. And I think my younger self would be so happy. He is so happy right now. And where I'm going is it's gonna be biblical. That's about it.
So true. Dylan, thank you. Dylan, do you want to go next?
Sure. Question for Nicole. Nicole, you were extremely gifted in everything from the very beginning. Talent, discipline, beauty, support, achievement. When was the first moment in your life when all of this was not enough and you had to discover who you were beyond the gifts you were born with?
I'm not sure that there was an exact turning point. I think that the culmination of everything that I was exposed to, that I was aware of, that I was taught, that I was shown, everything around me, I always had a massive thirst for knowledge and still do. So I love listening to other people's stories and gaining knowledge, and I've been very lucky to have that opportunity throughout my life, and travel is a huge part of that because you learn who you are as a person when you travel. You get to meet other interesting people, different walks of life, and learning about all the different cultures. And from each of those experiences, I learned so much more about myself, who I am as a person, and about the world and other people. So it was just so beneficial in so many ways, and it's really helped shape the person I am today. Hope that answers the question somewhat.
Now, let's do a drum roll for the next one.
Next one? Okay, drum roll, drum roll.
You can go next,
I'm
Nicole.
gonna put my glasses on. Question for Giannis. Giannis, there is a feeling when someone eats at Acropolis that they're not just tasting a dish, they're tasting a new chapter in what Greek cuisine can be. You've taken something ancient, something sacred, and you've lifted it into a completely new realm here in Australia. When you think about that journey, the courage, the risk, the responsibility of redefining a whole cuisine, is there one dish in particular that captures the exact moment you realised you weren't just cooking food anymore? You were changing the narrative. And what is the story behind that moment?
So the last part of the question is, I guess, what is really Greek cuisine and what ancient Greeks used to eat, how they used to eat. And then Greek cuisine left behind. Nearly 2000, we started achieving Michelin stars in restaurants that it was Greek dish, a simple Greek dish that a mother could cook. But how about we change a little bit? Not the flavor must stay, because that's a narrative. It must remind you things. It must get you somewhere that you can't be anymore, because that's a past. And we get emotional every time we choose to cook something, because it's all a story. Behind every dish, there is a story. Sad or happy is the beauty of life, because we are alive here together to hear each other. There is only romanticism, there is courage in feelings. Get the story done. Think about something, see an ingredient, find the story. What is the story behind it? If you remember, if you don't remember, you must see a story behind every ingredient. Everyone knows how to cook, okay? But when a diner comes to us, it's a gift to us. So we have to give back. Difference is that we understand the story. This is the difference. We are not better than others. My dad told me once, competition is the father of disappointment. So stay on your own lane. Do what you do. Create a territory, create your own land, your own world, your own feelings. It's you, it's everyone here. We have our own story. This is with food. Food is memories. It's not something that we fill in our bellies, but it's good if we fill our bellies.
And that's a dream.
Yanni, that's
It is a
beautiful.
bonus. It is a bonus.
Yanni, while we've got you here, a drum roll, everyone.
Well, you have one for me as
Why
well.
that says chef?
Yes.
Like
Ellie.
that, chef.
Okay. You have carried culture, identity, and community on your shoulders for years. At what moment do you realize that your fight for the Parthenon legacy was not just about preserving history, but also about protecting something deep inside yourself?
Well, when I was a little girl, I loved history and I used to take encyclopedias to bed. When I was 7 or 8, my parents got the World Book Encyclopedia and they were, as we all remember, very big, heavy things. And I would just be turning these pages. But I loved history. And going to school in Australia, obviously, all my friends had cheese and Vegemite sandwiches. I also had cheese and Vegemite sandwiches, but I always knew that my Greek heritage was something that really informed the way I thought, informed who I was. I was Greek, growing up in this wonderful country, Australia. So fast forward, I raised my children. I was very busy for all those years, but at some point it was my time to roll up my sleeves, and you throw everything you can into that passion and that quest. I guess it's a quest. That's my passion, that's my motivation. I feel very strongly about it. It's not a job, it's not a chore to me. It's just something, a way of expressing my Greek identity, of righting a historical wrong, and it's a way of me expressing my Hellenic culture, my Hellenic persona, I guess. So yes, thank you.
Thanks, Ellie. Now, that was beautiful. We'll do another drum roll and I think you're next.
Well, there's only one person left, Sean. Let's have a look here and see. Okay. Question for Sean. You built a media empire that shaped the culture of Queensland. Everyone knows the success story. Very few know the private cost. What is the one moment in that journey where you paid a price that nobody saw? And how did that moment change the man you became after it?
I think to start with, when you're gifted the opportunity to build something, well, to lead a group of people to build something, it's a moment in time. And And it kind of started the first day I got to Brisbane to build this radio station. I had my best suit on, new shoes, polished within an inch of their lives, cufflinks, new haircut, dressed up to the nines, beautiful tie. Got to my where I was staying, which is at Kangaroo Point in a service department. Realised it was only me, so I put my board shorts on, singlet top, and went out to the pool and sat there and started calling people. And I was very, very lucky that very day that I arrived in Brisbane that my room wasn't ready. And I said to the cab driver, I just feel like a bit of fish for lunch. Can you take me to a nice seafood restaurant? And he said, how's gambaros? And I said, I don't know what that is, but yep, that sounds great. So I got there and I had my bags because the hotel wasn't ready or the service department wasn't ready. And the owner of the restaurant came out and said, what are you doing, mate? It was John Gambaro. And he said, welcome to Brisbane. We told the story. And he invited me out the back. He said, I've got a boardroom lunch happening out the back. There's a spare seat. Do you want to come in? And I was like, oh, do I ever? And so from somebody that knew nobody to then meeting 30 people on my first day, from there I thought, who else is going to know everybody in town? I'll go and see the mayor. So I did that. Went and saw the mayor, who wasn't long before he became Premier. And from that meeting, I'd expressed interest. I've always had a very, very civic mind, being involved in the city that you live in and giving back. So within a month or two, I was on the Brisbane Marketing Board, became the chairman of the Brisbane Sister Cities, and others, and it kind of just kept growing. So it wasn't just the work component. You had to establish yourself in a new city. So there was a lot of time and effort spent outside of core hours, and it became kind of 7 days a week. I think that just became normal, and then not having a holiday for a couple of years kind of became normal. And the family became involved in the business. So at one point, I think all but one of the kids was working at Nova. After Nova and after a lot of travel, I moved to another organisation. And the pressure there was so much that my kids actually said to me one day, Dad, you're changing. And it was that moment I thought, this isn't for me. But I was lucky enough to have that feedback. And that feedback was really, really important because I was under so much pressure and stress that I was taking it home and it was impacting them. And I think that was the moment when I thought, if I understood the question properly, was there a time where I realised that it impacted me? It was that very, very moment. On the other end of that scale was the opportunities that we all got. The kids saw things they'd never seen. They'd met people that were almost impossible for them to meet. In fact, in the very early days when I was in television, you can all say you've met Humphrey now. I played the role of Humphrey because he was some talent I could keep in the boot of my car. So my kids...
Humphrey B. Bear?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I used to watch you when I was a kid.
I'll tell you about that later.
So it was funny. My kids would go to school saying, "Oh, Humphrey tucked us in the bed last night," and the kids are going, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah, that's my dad.
And then they'd come over to our place.
And you put on the suit.
Humphrey really is here.
Cool.
I guess the last part of that story was one day, I think he was then 5 or 6, came into the house hysterical. And I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "I've just found a Humphrey Bear in a box. He's dead." and I said, "No. I said, "Okay, come to me. I need to tell you the truth." No. It's really important, mate, that you hear the truth from me. So Humphrey's actually overseas at the moment, and he's asked me to dress up like him whilst he's away, so the kids could still be entertained and what have you. And he said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "I put on the suit." He's like, "Oh, that is the case." So there was lots of opportunities. The death of Humphrey, the birth of Humphrey feeding the fish. There's pros and cons. I do feel some guilt about the time spent away and the volume of work. All of you know this from your days in your own lives. It's not a part-time role being successful. It's not a part-time role building something. There's no days off. It's a 7-day-a-week venture. And in fact, the last 10 years have been 8 days a week. And you're starting at 7 in the morning or 8 in the morning, working till 10 at night. People go, "Yeah, right." You're actually starting at 7 in the morning, working till 10 at night, 7 days a week. So the regret is the overwork. That 5-year-old kid that said, "I'm never going to be like that," drove that. I was lucky enough to be told And when you're told by those that matter, you can make a difference. But time again, I would have balanced it better. So I hope that answers it.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, Sean. That was beautiful.
Thanks for sharing, but Steve, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, mate. If there's one thing I hope you carry with you from tonight, it's this. The people sitting next to you, walking past you, standing quietly behind you in life, they're never just ordinary people. There are giants amongst us, and maybe the most beautiful thing we can do is totally see them. This is the 7th seat, and this was our